Good morning, good morning. We are in the tarot study of the Justice card. This is number 11 of the major arcana in the tarot. That's the original Rider-Waite Smith one. This is the Golden Art Nouveau card. Then today we are going to introduce, this is the, I'm going to show you two cards, so that's because this is called the Wild Unknown Tarot, and this one, but they gave Justice, and I reread this whenever we studied the Strength card, I believe, but this is the first deck that we've had that actually did what they said, where they switch the numbers. They put Justice in the number 8. So even though we're studying Justice as number 11, and this deck it's number 8, and then because their Strength card is their number 11. So there's their number 11 card, but we are studying the Justice card. So there's that. And see, this is completely different than our first two, right? Because we had, here's the original Rider-Waite version, original Rider-Waite Smith version. And then you have the Golden Art Nouveau version. And now today you have, this is the Wild Unknown version. And so you have the two cats, and then you have the sword, and you have the color and the black and white, and you have the earth. I don't know. I love this deck. I never thought I would, if I was not gifted this deck, I probably wouldn't have gotten it. I didn't, for some reason, just seeing it online, these landscapers need to go somewhere else. I wasn't drawn to it. I had no desire to get it. And maybe that was why, because the universe knew I was going to be getting it in a different way. But I really do like it a lot. So there's that. Okay. And today we're going to be reading from Tarot as a Way of Life. Can you see? Let me go there. Tarot as a Way of Life. Okay, here we go. Oy vey. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. It's been going on forever. It's okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Again, we are faced by choices, but very differently from the way in which we were faced by them in the Lover's card. As we have seen, the Wheel of Fortune asks us to look at ourselves objectively as possible, and Justice does so too, but at the same time she asks us to examine fairly and squarely what we are and where we stand. I like that. Real good. I don't know why I'm getting my southern accent on with this one. Justice confronts us with the knowledge that life contains a succession of pleasures, obligations, and problems. We need to accept that it poses restrictions which have to be accommodated. The less we have done this in the past, the more traumatic the confrontation with Justice will be. For, following on from the Wheel of Fortune, Justice teaches us that our life at this moment is a result of all the psychic processes of the past. The choices we have made and those we have shelved, depending on our disposition. To some extent, Justice continues the process of the Wheel of Fortune, but whereas the wheel patterns in society and in outside world are still important, Justice is a more inward-looking card, which gives the desire to be in the clear with all the mutually opposing inner forces. Here is the sword of discrimination, enabling us through critical analysis of ourselves to gain a more balanced picture of how we have functioned in the past, and of how and at which junctures we have put a spoke in our own wheels by wrong attitudes and faulty expectations. Now this card is going, these readings, these last two books are going in A lot of times I think we see the justice card as outward justice, justice for things that have been done to us, right? Or in like karma will get you good kind of thing. But this is all showing again that like and if you look at like the different how symmetrical this card is too, it kind of reminds you of that whole mirroring thing of each time that we need to like think about like everything that we're seeing in the outside world. We really need to look and see, how is that showing? Is that showing up? Is this showing something that I need to pay attention to on in my inside world, inside of me? Like, what do I need to examine and see here? What do I need to pay attention to here and here? What needs my attention? What needs to be like just yeah, like dived into, journeyed into, like thought on, meditated on, all the things, right? Okay, so I just love that like we are asked again, time and time and again, to look inwards. So many times we point the finger outwards, but here we are asked, it's time we stop doing that. Each and every one of us, if each and every one of us did an internal audit, for lack of better words, but I think it's fitting, of like of our own, where we're our own how we are not being fair to ourselves or to others, how we can be better, where do we stand? Like it's so easy for us to point our fingers and be like, they're so mean, or they did this wrong and they did that wrong, and they like the injustice of it all, of this person and that person and this group and that group and all the different things. But what about in here? Like, where have I been wrong? Where have I been not showing up in my full as my best self? How can I do better? Where do I need to look at within of how I've been unfair to myself and to others? I need to do an internal audit instead of auditing others all the time, right? All right, justice tries to establish a balance between the forces of unconscious and the postures of the conscious. Once again, the question of ethics does not enter into the matter. Take responsibility for your actions and see the connection between your inner conflicts and those in which you are embroiled in the outside world. And jettison superfluous ballast. There's, I'm just going to keep going. Justice cannot abide dishonesty. We're going to highlight that. And that's being honest with yourself too. I mean, it's so important. Like, we're so often we are dishonest with ourselves. Evasions and excuses are automatically unmasked because they disturb the internal equilibrium and trigger unbalanced reactions in the outside world. The process of justice leads us to adopt a more humble demeanor, knowing that even if in some ways we have arrived, we still have to learn. This humility has nothing to do with masochism or an inferiority complex. People who settle down in the phase of justice often develop a very biased opinion about who they are and what is happening to them. Those around them are always entirely to blame, but they themselves are spotless and clean and full of good intentions. In their eyes, others are good for nothing, and what is worse, are deliberate offenders. Therefore, we often see the people signified by this card threatening legal action or taking it. Conversely, being repeatedly the victim of legal action or by others is the other side of this complex. Then, once more, the world is experienced as blameworthy, with the added indignity that these others are trying to prove that it is you who are legally in the wrong. It will be obvious that in lawsuits of this kind, tremendous amounts of emotions are generated, usually by both parties. While justice is as a process has a certain cleansing effect in the sense that one's reactions and expectations lead to a better understanding of oneself and to greater clarity and soberness, negative justice supervises a buildup of obscurities, incriminations, emotions, and difficulties, which can produce a sense of alienation, as if nobody wants anything more to do with you. The fact of the matter is that this feeling flows from a widening gulf between the conscious and the unconscious. The unconscious is no longer able to reach you with helping forces, and the conscious feels isolated and left in the lurch. Feelings that are then projected on the wicked world. Quotes, the wicked world. One feels repudiated, and this can make the next phase of the hangman very difficult. Whereas simplification and positive constructive humility are what are required to add a new dimension to this phase. Amen. That's what it is. That is tarot, oh dear, as a way of life. A Jungian approach to the tarot by Karen Hamaker Zonig. And then again, today's card is the Wild Unknown. I think that's what it's called. Much love. See you tomorrow.